Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss Robert Browning's famous poem, A Grammarian's Funeral. As you know, A Grammarian's Funeral is a long poem written in the form of a dramatic monologue. It is among the best known poems of Browning. It was first published in the volume of poems called Men and Women in 1855. Later, in 1868, it was included in the volume Dramatic Romances. The poem characteristically opens at a critical juncture in the life of the grammarian. The occasion of the funeral of a grammarian is the critical juncture in this poem. The faithful disciples of the grammarian are carrying the dead body of their master to bury it on a hilltop far away from plains. They do not want their highly scholastic master or teacher to be buried along with the persons of ordinary brains. They contemptuously speak, "Leave we the unlettered plain its herd and crops. Seek we sepulchre on a tall mountain, citied to the top." That means there is a lot of difference between the grammarian and the ordinary people. And they do not want to bury him at a lower level or in the village, etc. It is the moment for the leader of the disciples to dilate upon the life of the grammarian. The disciple tells that the grammarian was endowed with graces of face and form. He was lyric Apollo. He led a life of secluded study till he grew prematurely old and disease weakened him. Back to his book, then deeper drooped his head. Back to his studies, fresher than at first. That means he was most of the time engrossed in studies till the end. As the funeral procession moves on, we are told of the dead scholar's passion for learning, his austere way of living, and his philosophy of life. The poem exemplifies Browning's psychological penetration. The grammarian lived and died for lofty ideals. He had an unending passion for books, as he knew that there was no end to learning. The grammarian emerges as a figure typical of the early Renaissance. The poem illustrates Browning's technique of describing a character as a typical product of an age. The grammarian has the optimistic belief in a benevolent God and in the immortality of soul. He was optimistic in continuing and completing his task in the next birth. He used to say, "He ventured neck or nothing, heaven's success found or earth's failure." Lastly, the disciples reach the mountain's top and bury their master. Thus, the mountain peak, the place of height, becomes symbolic of learning, because the place of height is also the place of light, and that is the symbol of learning. While the dark plain below symbolizes the darkness of ignorance, the difficulties they experience in climbing the mountain symbolize the difficulties which beset the path of learning. At every step, the poem admits of allegorical interpretation. The grammarian did not get involved in the earthly preoccupations which might have stunted the development of his faculties. He risked everything because he felt that he had to gain all or nothing. He had to succeed fully or fail completely. Richard criticizes the opinion of the grammarian. He holds the view that this man's choice was a negation of life and a denial of the very spirit of humanism. Browning would make such a person his ideal, who would cut himself from the society and pursue learning. According to Richard, it is a satire on the misconceived ideals and misdirected energies of the scholar in search of bookish perfection. According to D.L. Wayne, this poem is the most successful attempt to catch the spirit of scholars who hanker after knowledge in the Renaissance. As the disciples draw a concrete picture of the physical decay of the grammarian, with bald head, impaired eyesight, and imperfect speech, they bring into a striking contrast with it. The grammarian believed in the reality of the afterlife, which made him reject this one. That means the mundane life. A striking aspect of this poem is its pictorial quality. There is a skillful blend of praise for the grammarian and comments passed by the mourners as they carry the dead body to the hilltop. The picture of the mountain's top is painted in most poetic lines. Here is his place, where meteors shoot, clouds form, lightnings are loosened, stars come and go, let joy break with the storm. On the whole, the style of the poem is simple and clear, though at a few places the poet's use of parentheses and the display of his learning create some difficulty for the readers. Obscurity is there to be seen in the poem, no doubt. It lies in its intellectual contents. It is further increased by involved syntax, omission of a word here and there, and Browning's habit of saying things in parentheses. A grammarian's funeral lays itself open to the charge of obscurity. In spite of the obscurity, however, the poem has a great appeal. It presents a soothing philosophy. Commenting on the poem, Gladstone Webb says, "The dead scholar, whose funeral ode is chanted by his pupils as they bear his dead body to its lofty burying place, is a finely imagined character." The poem has been written in a smooth, flowing iambic measure. Frequent use of alliteration has been made. The monologue has been much criticized for its irregular rhythm and strange rhymes, but roughness of versification has its use. It suggests the grammarian's rugged journey through life. Thank you.